Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Walk the Talk with Bulbeer. Today I have this beautiful young lady sitting next to me. Hi Niharika.
Hi, Bulbeer. So happy for you to be here.
Thank you very much for your time, really appreciate it. So Niharika is an interior designer and let's take it from there. So tell me something, Niharika. I really found the name Polka House very innovative. What's the story behind this name?
So actually, we get that a lot. I think this was in around 2011. I think that's when the obsession with polka dots actually began. And now Yayoi Kusama has become a very big rage.
Big.
And obviously back then in the West, she was, somebody very famous, started from Japan. And she done a collaboration with Louis Vuitton. And, I was walking on Fifth Avenue and I happened to see her bags. And I was very intrigued by, what's happening here. It's just so cool. I'm anyways an art student. I come from an art background. I've done, done my higher level in arts in IB. And always loved her work. Was very, very obsessed with it. Then I finally saw one of her exhibits in London. And that's when I was like, when I was starting out, I said, what could I possibly name it? And just that whole circular form kept coming to my mind. And I think that's how we thought of like Polka House. So,
Very cool.
yeah, that was the integration and the beginning of the name and how it kind of, the inception of it. Yeah.
So you can definitely relate much more than anyone
Yeah.
with the Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a game changer. Yeah.
So did you actually have them, have some pieces in your...
So I actually did buy a piece from this time's collection because back then I think it was what? I was like 17, 18. So this time I picked up one from her latest collection. Yeah.
So interior design was your passion? Why did you start? Like you started like as a passion or as a business?
So actually interior design was always something. So art again was always something I was aligned towards. It was always something that called to me. And, I was never really good at like mathematics and, finance. And so it was always the art spectrum. And I think arts was something very vague, very large. And I think from there it came to interior designing. And interior design, I studied it. I went to Rachna for 3 years. I did it. And, my own home was getting renovated when I was in the 8th grade. And I remember I was so excited when the architect would come over and, with her laptop and her AutoCAD drawings. And it was always exciting for me. And I just liked that whole professional angle, getting ready, going to work, having a routine. So I think it was always a passion, but it was not like a passion converted into a business over time. It always started passion and business hand in hand and kind of grew. Yeah. I always knew I wanted to work. I always knew I wanted to, have something of my own. So yeah, that's how it started.
That's awesome. So what, according to you, is the importance and need for constant evolution and innovation in design?
So, Balbir, I think evolution and innovation is, unstoppable right now with the way the tech world is moving and how fast everything is going. It's imperative to kind of integrate that. And I think the biggest way that I see innovation being used in design is through technology. People want everything, like right from their security systems to furniture to just general spaces to be very interactive. So I think we need to kind of make sure that we constantly integrate tech. And India being where it is, I think it's booming right now. It's going to be for the next 10 years also. It's going to be the main hub for design.
Okay.
So I think we constantly need to integrate tech into our designs to make them different. Otherwise, I think anyone sitting with Pinterest and, a little bit of a design and artistic sense can say, I can create a space. So, just I think getting that integration is what will really lead to that perfect innovation that we're looking for.
So what are the kind of projects you're doing as of now?
So we are doing a few residential projects, a few commercial projects, a few nurseries for children. So
that?
yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So nurseries as in the school.
No, nurseries as in like children's spaces, so like playrooms.
Okay.
And children's like, so we actually,
Toddlerland.
yeah, we actually became very famous on these mommy network groups when I started out my career, because I had done my nephew's room, and I think it got very like it got a lot of traction, and that's how people started knowing I'm an interior designer. So it actually began from there, and we're not kind of left it. We're still continuing doing a little of that as well. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what is your take on artificial intelligence in design?
So I think AI is honestly something, it's not that I have really ventured into or really know much about, but I think it's interesting because, again, like I said, it's again very interactive.
Exactly.
And I think, you know, how earlier people wanted just to see 3D renders, and they just wanted to see like you know, first it was sketches and it became renders. Now it's become like they want walkthroughs. They want, you know, people to kind of like, they want to see so much. And I think AI is obviously going to just accelerate that whole process even more. Like with ChatGPT, the whole world is kind of changed. And I think AI is also going to do that with design.
English skills.
I'm just suddenly like, you know, it's just amplified. So I think I'm just waiting to see with Meta and I mean, what's going to happen with AI. So, yeah.
What are your hobbies, if I may ask?
So hobbies, as in I love traveling. I think traveling is a very big part of my life. If you know any of my clients and you ask them, they'll always say that she's literally like 4 months she's away. So I'm always traveling. Yeah, me and my husband, we take off. We don't take off a very, very long. We do like small trips, but very often. So it's a nice break for us. I'm learning how to play the piano.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have a dog at home, so I love spending time with him. He's just 1 year old, and I really, really enjoy that. But I would say like traveling is like my main hobby that I really, really enjoy, and cooking. So I cook. It really de-stresses me when I'm in the mood. When I've had a long day at work, sometimes the longest days of work end with like a little bit of cooking. So yeah.
Which is your favorite country?
Oh God, that's a really tough question. But if my favorite city would be London, hands down, I make sure to go there every 3 to 4 months. And I think just generally, like country-wise, I would say Italy, maybe. It's definitely like, I've got a very soft spot for it.
So do you get impressed or inspired by the architecture?
100%, 100%. I think travel is also integrated with, you know, inspiration, growth, keeping your eyes open, really getting to see what's out there. It teaches you so much, you know, meeting different people. I think people fascinate me a lot. So I think when I meet people from different countries, just seeing how they respond to spaces, how like hotels are made based on like, you know, people's requirements, what thought process goes into it. When you go to restaurants, when you go to like fashion boutiques, I think fashion boutiques all over the world are so beautifully made. The materials they use, the color palettes, their window display. There's so much to learn. I think that fear of playing with color kind of immediately breaks when you go and you walk on those streets, you know.
So you said cooking.
Yeah.
Does cooking also is that also an inspiration? Do you try world cuisine at home?
Yeah, so I definitely do. I personally don't like cooking too much of Indian because I feel like a staff at home is so trained to do all of that. So definitely world cuisine, and I think cooking is more calming for me. So I think if I'm having a stressful day, if I've had a long day, if I'm bored, I think rather than just watching a movie, I think, you know, cooking something, making something. And I think it's again related to like happiness in a way. You know, you cook something, someone likes it, they appreciate it. So I think that whole process is what I really enjoy. And I think it's a branch of creativity at the end of the day. Yeah.
Which is your favorite dish?
Oh,
That I made.
I think that would be French toast.
Oh.
Yeah, I love that, and my husband loves it too. Yeah, it's so easy, it's so quick on a Sunday. Just crack open an egg and, you know, put it on like some brioche and just like on the pan, and you're set.
Oh my God, that sounds so yum. I'm definitely gonna be coming over.
Please do, please do,
If not a meal, at least the French toast.
please do.
Because we're like, I mean, we ourselves are foodies.
Yeah.
Seem to be like a very good cook. I need to try out the interior designer Niharika. Food.
Definitely.
So what is your advice to the youngsters these days who are also getting into the same stream?
And starting out on their own. I think, see, honestly, I think it's a double-edged sword. As much as it has its pros, and it's very nice, and starting your own firm gives you a lot of confidence. It gives you a lot of fame. It gives you a lot of clarity, a lot of hold in terms of decision making. But also, it's not the easiest option to choose. I would say really get experience first. Work under maybe 2, 3 architects. Try and see different firms and how they run their business. Because I think as designers and as creative people, we've just been taught one way of working, which is just through the creative way. But the business angle of it is something that tends to get left out. And I think that is something where I struggle the most. Understanding accounts, understanding how to run a firm, people management, HR, PR. There's so many things attached. So I think definitely try and get experience there and, start on your own. But always remember, as much as fame as you get, when the problems come, they all come on you as well. But it's a beautiful space. And I would say if you have it in you, why not? Give it a shot.
Thanks. That's such a good answer.
Thank you.
That is the state of the art, the latest answer that one would give.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it really, really matters a lot.
Yeah.
So many aspects.
Yeah.
Start and keep going.
And our industry has so many things linked to it, right? It's so many materials, so many products, so much, and everything's changing so fast today. So I think you need to be, up to date with what's happening, and you need to be able to manage so much. So it's not the easiest, but I mean, nothing in life is. So I think, yeah.
What did you like, to talk about Easter?
Yeah.
What do you like to say?
So I think ASTEC is definitely, one of the biggest exhibitions that takes place in India for materials and everything related to architecture and design. And it's Asia's second largest, which is, really something. And I think as a team, we always like visiting ASTEC. We love to see what it has to show. And we always come back learning more, understanding more. And it's so nice that, we have a platform in India, especially, and it happens in Bombay also. So, we're so lucky that we get to kind of see what's out there, what's new, integrate with our, industry. Because I think as much as client and designer relations are important, so is client and vendor relations, client and, industry relations, and designer and industry relations. So that whole integration is super important, because ultimately, your vendor team is what really helps you put the space together.
True.
And, really bring your ideas to life. And I think an exhibition like ASTEC bridges that gap between designers and vendors and the client as well. So I think it's definitely something we're really, really looking forward to.
Thank you so much for your time, Niharika. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Walk the Talk with Well-Being. Take care.
Thank you.